I'm Jim, and today you're in Jim's garage. Alright, today we're going to be changing out a sway bar link. I was working on the Mini this weekend. I have some kind of rubbing sound coming out from the left front wheel, and so I took the wheel off and started removing the sway link, and a part of it broke, and we'll show you the part that broke while I was removing it. I also replaced the ball joint, and hopefully that fixes the squeak. But today we're going to show you how to replace the sway bar link. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to jack up the car and remove the wheels on both the left and the right side. I think one part that caused me to break the sway link while I was removing it was that I had just lifted up one end of the car, and getting the sway bar out was a little tricky, and I tried pulling it out, and I think when I was trying to pull it out, I ripped one of the bushings. So I'll show you that when we get to that part. But I'll go ahead and lift up the car and remove the front wheels on both sides. Before I remove all the studs, I like to just break the studs so that they're not so hard to remove after you lift up the tires off the ground. So what you want is the car to be level so that both sway bar links are connected to the sway bar and they hang the same distance. On the end that I'm working at, I put a jack stand on the subframe as a secondary measure, just to make sure that if the jack fails, that no one gets hurt. So now you can see here that the top part of the sway bar just came out entirely. It's like entirely disconnected. And there's like a little ball joint in here that this is supposed to go into, but didn't fit into anymore because it came out. And so we'll go ahead and undo the bolts both on the bottom and the top. So one way to do this is to put a 16-inch socket on the nut side, and then hold the other side. There's a spot here that holds, that can be held by the spanner, 17mm spanner, and then just take it off. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use, I put a vice grip on a 16mm socket, and I'm going to push a 5mm hex through the socket and get it off that way. Optionally, what you can do is you can get a 5/8 and you can put it in a ratchet, and a 19mm ratchet, and that will hold also. And this way you can instead use ratcheting to take it off. So the lower bolt here on the sway bar link is a little easier to access with just the 16 and 17 mil. All right, so putting the sway bar back on, I'm going to use the 5/8 spark plug socket, and it has a little adapter here so I can put a wrench on it. Makes it a lot easier. And then I'll put the 5mm hex through there just to hold the center part from spinning. You can see here, this is the center part, and the 5mm just right there, so it holds it so it doesn't spin. Because you have both wheels off, you can easily turn the setting so it's a little easier to access, and I usually like to put the top one on first because that's the harder one to access. Okay. All right, now that I got the top fixed, turn this over. It's a little easier to access. I'll tighten it down for right here with that 16mm and the 17 millimeter wrench. All right, when I put the wheel back on, I like to put a centering pin inside the hub here. It just makes it easier to get all the bolts back in. And also, because these are aftermarket wheels, they have a centering ring that goes on the inside of the wheel, and so just to make sure everything's centered properly. Now I'll do a final torque to 95 foot-pounds.